Today we're going to compare the evidence and answer one question. Is Section 101 of H.R. 9237, the Take Care of America's Veterans Act, actually the same as the Major Richard Starr Act in H.R. 2102? Everyone keeps saying that Congress included the Major Richard Starr Act in H.R. 9237, which is the Take Care of America's Veterans Act. When I first heard that, I assumed Congress had simply taken the standalone bill and placed it inside a much larger veterans package. I read the actual legislation itself, and then I compared that language with the Congressional Budget Office's official cost estimate for H.R. 2102. What I found actually surprised me. The two bills pursue the same goal. They even carry the exact same name. But after comparing the text, I'm not convinced they're actually the same bill. Now, before I reached any conclusions, I wanted to answer three questions throughout my process. First, did Congress change who qualifies? Second, did Congress change how benefits are indeed calculated? And third, did Congress change what some veterans could ultimately receive? If the answer to all three questions was no, then we would essentially be looking at the same legislation in the different package. But if more than one answer was yes, veterans deserve to know exactly what had changed. So let's begin with the Major Richard Starr Act, which is H.R. 2102. The Major Richard Starr Act has been introduced in Congress for several years with one primary objective: to address the long-standing issue of concurrent receipt affecting eligible medical retired veterans. Most public discussion focuses on combat-related Chapter 61 retirees, and that's understandable. But while reviewing the Congressional Budget Office's official analysis of H.R. 2102, I noticed something very important. The CBO didn't discuss only one affected population. It identified three populations. First, the approximate 255,000 Chapter 61 retirees with fewer than 20 years of service. Second, approximately 32,000 Chapter 61 retirees with 20 or more years of service who remain affected by an existing statutory limitation. And third, approximately 59,000 combat-related Chapter 61 retirees receiving combat-related special compensation. Those three populations formed the basis for Congressional Budget Office's estimated cost of approximately $78 billion over 10 years. And that's billion with a B. At that point, I thought I understood the actual bill. Then I opened up Section 101 of H.R. 9237, the Take Care of America's Veterans Act. And that's where the comparison became much more interesting throughout my analysis. The first thing I noticed actually corrected something I'd heard repeated over and over online. Combat-related Chapter 61 retirees were still included. They had not disappeared from the legislation, which actually matters. If we're going to evaluate legislation fairly, we have to begin with what the bill actually says. But then I found something very different. Section 101 changes how the benefit is calculated. Instead of relying solely on the veteran's Chapter 61 retired pay amount, the bill requires a comparison to be done between the amount and a hypothetical 20-year retirement calculation. The military retired pay portion is then based on the lesser of those two calculations. That's more than just a wording change. It's a different payment methodology altogether. Now let's move on to our second question, and that is, did Congress change how benefits are calculated? Based on the legislative language, yes, they actually did. That still leaves one important question. Did those changes affect who ultimately benefits from the legislation? Now let's compare the two bills side by side. The first thing that stands out is what did not change. Both bills continue to address combat-related Chapter 61 retirees. That point is important because some public discussions suggested those veterans have been removed entirely from H.R. 9237. I did not find that to be supported by the legislative text. The second difference is the payment calculation. H.R. 2102 and Section 101 of the H.R. 9237 Take Care of America's Veterans Act do not use the same methodology. Section 101 of H.R. 9237 introduces the lesser of calculation we just discussed. Now, whether that ultimately results in the same payment depends on the veteran's individual circumstances, but the legislative approach itself is indeed different. Now, the third difference is what caught my attention the most. Remember those three populations that were identified by the Congressional Budget Office in its analysis of H.R. 2102. When I compared that analysis to Section 101 of H.R. 9237, I could not find those broader populations being carried forward in the same manner. Instead, Section 101 of H.R. 9237 focuses on the combat-related eligibility provisions contained within its own text while applying the revised payment calculation. Now, this doesn't automatically tell us whether Congress intended to narrow this bill. It doesn't tell us whether one approach is better than the other. It simply tells us that these two legislations are not written in the same way, which indicated to me that I had found meaningful differences in the two legislations. Before I reached any final conclusion, I wanted to answer one additional question, and that is, what do those differences actually mean for real veterans? Now let's take a look at two simplified examples, and these are illustrations only, okay? Every veteran's retirement history, disability ratings, and entitlement calculations are indeed unique. These examples simply demonstrate why the wording and legislation matters. Our first example is a United States Marine who is medically retired after 8 years of service because of combat-related injuries. This Marine qualifies under both H.R. 2102 and Section 101 of the H.R. 9237. The important difference isn't eligibility, it's the calculation. Under Section 101 of H.R. 9237, Congress directs the VA and the DoD to compare the Marines Chapter 61 retired pay amount with a hypothetical 20-year retirement calculation and use the lesser amount from the military retired pay component. Depending on the facts of the individual case, that revised calculation could produce a very different outcome, more so than what many veterans had expected when they heard the words Major Richard Starr Act being included in the H.R. 9237. Now let's consider a different veteran. This veteran is also a Chapter 61 retiree with fewer than 20 years of service, but does not satisfy the combat-related eligibility requirements reflected in Section 101 of the H.R. 9237 Take Care of America's Veterans Act. When I reviewed the Congressional Budget Office's analysis of H.R. 2102, the original Major Richard Starr Act, I found discussions of a much broader Chapter 61 population, approximately 255,000 retirees to be exact. When I compared that analysis to Section 101 of the H.R. 9237, I could not find that broader expansion reflected in the same form. That's one of the most significant differences I found during this investigation. Again, that doesn't automatically mean Congress made the wrong decision, but rather it simply means the legislation appears to take a very different approach. Now, one rule that I always try to follow when I'm investigating legislation, and that is never make any assumptions and always follow the evidence. So here's what we know today in regards to H.R. 2102 and Section 101 of H.R. 9237, and that is that they are not textually identical. We know that Section 101 uses different payment calculations, and we know that the Congressional Budget Office identified a broader affected population when analyzing H.R. 2102, the original Major Richard Starr Act. And we know that those broader CBO descriptions are not reflective in Section 101 of H.R. 9237 in the same manner. Now here's what we do not know in regards to this comparison. I searched for an official Congressional Budget Office comparison between H.R. 2102 and Section 101 of H.R. 9237. I searched for a Congressional Research Service Memorandum explaining the rewrite, and I searched for committee reports and other publicly available legislative materials looking for official explanation that quantified exactly how the two versions differ, and I could not find one anywhere. Now, that doesn't mean that one doesn't exist somewhere outside the public record, because I'm sure it does. It has to somewhere. It simply means I could not locate a publicly available official analysis explaining every change or quantifying every practical difference between the two separate legislation in regard to the Major Richard Starr Act. So let's go back to the question that started this entire comparison. Is Section 101 of H.R. 9237, the Take Care of America's Veterans Act, really the same as the Major Richard Starr Act, which is referred to as H.R. 2102? After reading both bills, after reviewing the Congressional Budget Office's official analysis, and after comparing the legislative language line by line, here's what I've landed on. And that is, the simple answer is no. In my opinion, they are definitely not the same bill. That doesn't mean the two bills are unrelated. They clearly are related. They pursue the same objective. Both seek to improve concurrent receipt for eligible medical retired veterans, eligible being the key word, and both continue to recognize combat-related Chapter 61 retirees. But they do not accomplish that objective in the exact same way. This investigation identified three meaningful differences in the two legislations. First, the payment calculation has definitely changed. Section 101 of H.R. 9237 introduces a different methodology by comparing Chapter 61 retired pay amount with a hypothetical 20-year retirement calculation and using the lesser amount for the military pay component. Second, the Congressional Budget Office analysis of H.R. 2102, the original Major Richard Starr Act, describes three affected populations, including a much broader group of the Chapter 61 retirees than is reflected in Section 101 of H.R. 9237 in the same manner. And that distinction matters because it raises legitimate questions about how these two different versions of the Major Richard Starr Act do actually compare at practice. And third, I could not locate any publicly available official analysis that fully explains why Congress rewrote the legislation or that quantifies every practical difference between the standalone bill and Section 101 of H.R. 9237. Those are not opinions. These are simply the results of comparing the publicly available legislative language and official Congressional Budget Office analysis. This investigation was not about deciding whether Congress made the right policy choice or not. It was not about telling you, the veteran community, which bill that you should or should not support. And it was not about criticizing anyone who worked to advance either piece of this legislation. Those are all policy decisions that belong to Congress and ultimately to the American people, as well as you, the veteran community. When Congress says that H.R. 9237, the Take Care of America's Veterans Act, includes the Major Richard Starr Act, many veterans naturally assume that means Congress copied the standalone Major Richard Starr Act, H.R. 2102, into a larger legislative package. And after comparing that legislative language, I don't believe that's an accurate description of what happened at all. I believe it's more accurate to say that Congress included its own version of the Major Richard Starr Act in Section 101 of the H.R. 9237 Take Care of America's Veterans Act. That version does share the same objective and it shares many of the same concepts, but it is not simply word for word a copy of the Major Richard Starr Act, H.R. 2102, and that's important to understand. And for legislation involving veterans' benefits, those differences deserve to be understood before conclusions can be drawn. And it's a reminder that the title of a bill doesn't always tell the full story. Legislation evolves and changes, amendments are added, negotiations take place, and sometimes those changes are minor, but sometimes they're extremely significant, as it is in the case here with the Major Richard Starr Act. The only way to know the difference is to go beyond the headlines and actually read the text of both legislative versions and do a comparison. If this comparison has helped you better understand the difference between H.R. 2102 and Section 101 of H.R. 9237, let me know down in the comments. Did you notice something in the legislative language that maybe I didn't discuss today? Have you found another official source that adds additional context in relation to what I am talking about today? If so, I would genuinely like to hear about that, because these types of investigations are always stronger when they're grounded in good, solid evidence. Hey, if you found today's comparison helpful, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss future investigations that affect veterans and their families. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I'm Mike, and I will see you at the next formation.